Test one, two, three. Recording in progress.
You can still call the meeting to order.
Mr.
Yeah, it's only, he
He's
can't,
on time.
but it's only,
Mr. Oakham was ready to start.
but it's only 8:29. He can't start.
Okay.
Thank
Hey, well, you guys did work pretty good, walked in.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Insurance Benefits Legislative Committee. So do you want to read the procedure of the teleconference?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. This meeting is being conducted virtually and in person, so I will do a roll call of the trustees to confirm attendance. Ms. Ginsburg. Here. Mr. Razzo. Ms. Langton. Here. Mr. Rue. Ms. Fessler. Mr. Green. Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Kehoe.
Present.
Mr. Harris.
Present.
Vice Chair Oakham.
Present.
Staff participating in the meeting include Acting CEO Louis Lugo, AEOs JJ Popowich and Laura Guglielmo, Chief Counsel Stephen Rice, Legislative Affairs Officer Barry Liu, Director Retiree Healthcare Cassandra Smith, and Consultant Stephen Murphy from Siegel. Trustees, please use the raise your hand Zoom option to be placed in queue. At this time, we ask all meeting participants to mute your mics until you are ready to speak, and we may now proceed with the agenda. And we have no requests for teleconference meeting attendance under AB 2449.
Good. Thank you. Mr. Liu, your report to us on the legislative affairs?
Yes. Good morning, Trustee Oakham. And
Excuse me, we need to do the minutes.
That's what I said. See, but you didn't know I was going to say that because Mr. Liu was going to stop. Okay, we have to approve the minutes. Thank you for informing me of that.
We need a motion.
Yep.
I'll move it.
Okay, and I'll second. Who's Wayne? You second? Okay.
Ms. Langton.
Aye.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Kehoe.
Aye.
Vice Chair Oakham.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously.
Okay, now we can go to Mr. Liu with our legislative report.
yes, thank you, Trustee Oakham, and good morning, trustees. A few items of interest this morning. So the first one concerns some benefit enhancements at the City of Chicago, which coincidentally are very similar to the enhancements proposed in AB 1383, which, as you know, will be carried over next year. So as with many jurisdictions, Chicago had also engaged in pension reform efforts after the Great Recession. So they created a tier 2 pension plan, which is now being enhanced. It's been signed into law, and what's interesting is that, Illinois, Kentucky and New Jersey have reputation for having some of the lowest funded pension plans in the country. So the Chicago plans actually was 25% funded, and with these enhancements, it drops it to 18% funded. So the key change to the enhancement includes, again, raising the salary cap. This changes how the rate of inflation is used to increase the salary cap. And it also changes the way they average their final compensation, which interestingly was using the highest 8 of the last 10 years. And now this changes it to the highest 4 of the last 5 years. So I think another issue why they decided to do the enhancement was that the plan might not have met the Social Security safe harbor rule for employees because, as you know, safety members don't participate in Social Security. So you're supposed to have a plan that gives comparable benefits to what Social Security would give. So that was another reason for them to do the enhancement here. And then speaking of Social Security, the next item, their Social Security is changing the way it's mitigating fraud. So it's introducing 2 key measures. One of them is to use a PIN-based authentication system to identify people who contact Social Security. And supposedly this will reduce their call times by 30%. And they're also, as we're doing here, doing a prepaid card program. So they're trying to phase out paper checks. You're either going to direct deposit. If you don't have a bank account, then they have a prepaid card program that they'll put people on. Although there are opportunities for waiving that, given good reasons. But these are 2, proposals they're using to mitigate fraud. The next item is about the Colorado Public Employees Retirement Association. Interestingly, they're kind of a peer system. I think their assets are close to what we have, but they did a study on how their DB plan plays a role in recruitment and retention. And some of their findings are that their DB plan gives pretty much a similar income replacement ratio as other plan designs, although other plan designs might have a greater share of risk that they put on employees. Their DB plan, again, it's good for career employees who spend a long time in the system, as opposed to your DC plan, which is more portable. But also, again, as you know, DC plans put more risk on the employees to manage their investments compared to a DB plan. So they definitely found, positive aspects to the DB plan in promoting longevity and recruitment and retention. And then the last item is about the Oregon Public Employees Retirement System. They cover about 95% of public workers in Oregon, and they've done a recent economic impact study, which interestingly, compared to LACERA, they too have about 80% of their retirees that stay in the state of Oregon. They pay about $4.8 billion in annual benefits, which is slightly more than what LACERA pays, and $4.5 billion. But interesting when you compare the numbers. County of Los Angeles has about 10 million, population of 10 million, whereas the state of Oregon's about 4.2 million. So just our county alone is more than twice the size of the state of Oregon. And then if you look at the state of California, we got almost 40 million people. So that's almost 10 times the size. But interestingly, they pay about the same amount of benefits. And so NASRA maintains a list of public sector systems that have done these economic impact studies. And as you can see in California, we, along with CalPERS and CalSTRS, have done these studies, and then various other states have done these studies as well. As you know, we have an RFP currently to refresh our economic impact study. So that concludes my report, and happy taking your questions.
Yeah, I have a question. In Chicago, is this correct? Am I reading this correctly? That the pension liabilities, increased by 11 billion?
Yeah, so that's due to this plan enhancement that they've signed into law.
And they're 25% funded?
Now they're 18 as a result of the enhancement. So
how do they exist?
It's a good question. And I guess, as you can see here, cost is a consideration in plan enhancements, but it's not, the only consideration, considering the fact that the governor signed it into law. So.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Cassandra, are you ready for your retiree health report?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Only one thing to report. Seems like we were here just recently talking about how well the wellness event for the retirees went. I'm here to announce our next event, which will be held on September 23rd in Burbank at the Castaways. If you are available, we would love to have you attend, and I'm sure our retirees will as well. That's it.
Well, thank you, Cassandra. Our next report is from Stephen, who's going to give us a claims experience.
Morning, trustees. Just a quick summary of the recent financial utilization material. So the first slide up is a brief summary of the distribution of enrollment and premium costs across the various plans that LACERA uses. The only significant change is this being the month of July 2025. It does reflect the increases that went into effect on July 1st. So, well, other than that, I think nothing more than nothing to report beyond that. The next exhibit, the top chart, I just want to highlight again, this chart deals with the non-Medicare retirees. The majority of LACERA retirees are in Medicare Advantage style plans or Medicare supplemental plan. This is for the smaller population that's on non-Medicare plans. But just tracking the historic renewals for the non-Medicare carrier renewals over the last 3 years, we've just updated the 2025-2026 plan year. Projecting the trends based on national data, maybe the target would be about an 8.6% increase. And you can see for the various plans, whether it's Anthem, Cigna, or Kaiser, all three of those renewals for the non-Medicare population fell below that line. So again, it was a positive outcome. Looking at the most recent monthly experience, so year over year, Anthem saw an increase of about 6.2%, Cigna 6.1%, and Kaiser 8.1%. So I'd say the trend figure anywhere between probably 7 and 9% is probably a reasonable target in terms of what we're seeing nationally. And we'll get a little more detail on these outcomes. First slide is Anthem. So on a combined basis, all Anthem plans, we saw a 7.6% increase. As noted a moment ago, the Anthem plans, non-Medicare plans, 1 and 2 came in at about 6.2%. Prudent Buyer actually saw a slight decrease year over year, but we saw a significant increase, about 9.8% for the Medicare supplemental plan. Most of that being driven by pharmacy expenditures. So again, I think everybody's seeing that in the news, and if we watch any TV, we know that drugs are being thoroughly advertised, so that's not a surprise. The next exhibit is the Kaiser utilization. This was just recently updated to reflect claims data through 5/31/2025. Some kind of cross currents is what we're seeing. Inpatient activity actually declined period over period, so that's a positive. But we did see as an increase in the outpatient claims per member per month that went up by about 15%, and pharmacy went up about 11%. What's interesting though is if you look at the very bottom of this slide, the outpatient visits per thousand went up by only 4.77%. So that tells us that there were kind of increases in provider expenditures. So utilization roughly the same, but the increase is primarily due to increased fees. And on the pharmacy side, much like we talked about with Anthem a moment ago, pharmacy scripts per member are relatively flat, about 14.2 per member per year. That's about a 5.97% increase. But the pharmacy cost per member per month went up by 11. So you can think of GLP-1s for weight loss, diabetes management, specialty medications for oncology treatment. The list can go on, but that's kind of the mix that we're looking at. But those are the highlights for Kaiser. The next slide is a snapshot of the high claim activity, which gives us some insight into kind of what's driving it. We saw Anthem had a 21.9% increase period over period. Cigna, which has a smaller population and can be quite volatile, that was up 24.2%. And as we noted a moment ago, Kaiser's inpatient activity was actually down, which is a key driver for large claim activity. Next slide is just our tracking for members that might be approaching the lifetime maximum associated with the Anthem plans. The top chart or the top tables are a year-to-year comparison. So it's December 2023 through December 2024. From 2023, we had roughly 222 members, anywhere between 500,000 and 999,000 lifetime claims. That dipped at the end of 2024. It was 211. The charts below that are a month-to-month comparison, just to kind of keep us current. So in June, we had about 196 members within that range of 500,000 to 999,000. And that changed moderately for the month ending July, 195. So we'll continue to monitor that. And again, we'll continue to work with Anthem staff and the county on trying to adjust that lifetime maximum benefit. Next exhibit was updated to reflect pharmacy rebates. So these are generated through manufacturer rebates based on kind of utilization of members and arrangements between manufacturers and CVS. So again, these costs are actually used to help offset LACERA's budget. So overall, we're kind of seeing consistent output where we saw that increase from 197 from 4/1/2023 to the latest 12-month period, 4/1/2024 through 3/31/2025. So about a 10% increase period over period. And then rebates account for about almost 31% of kind of the total claims. So again, that gives us a good sense of kind of how those funds are being used to help moderate overall plan expenses. And the last slide is related to dental and vision. Again, very stable, slightly down for dental experience, and then moderately up for vision experience. Not to get too excited about vision, I think it's a 5% difference period over period, so I think that's okay. So that's the update from financial utilization report. And if I can go straight into it, I have nothing on a legislative update. It's been relatively quiet, and I don't suspect that will last us through September, but that's what I have for you today.
Any questions? The only question I have is some of these, when we go into large claims, you didn't include the 1.5 million because this is to what, May 31st?
Yep.
All right. So that's going to make a major difference. Cassandra, how many people do we have over 1 million at this point in September? Roughly.
As of our last report, we haven't gotten an updated report that will show us that. But
it will reduce itself
right,
drastically because
correct.
we had what, close to 200 people.
Mhm.
And what are we doing? What are we doing with the county? Are we going back to try to get this
So we have an update on the CDO report. We'll provide-
Okay, okay, all right.
I was trying not to bury the lead.
Thank God we got to at least 500,000. Hopefully we get another half or even make it where there's no top. Items for staff review, any?
We have nothing?
Okay, items for future agenda.
Nothing.
All right. Go to the order. We'll wait to Sean is running our regular meeting. And can I have a motion to adjourn? So adjourned. Okay, we're adjourned. We got 13 minutes.